Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Curiosity Box, and this is my discussion and review of WandaVision Series 1. Now let's have a disclaimer first of all. I don't know all the Easter eggs or in-jokes. I haven't read that much of them in the comics, so I don't know all the references. I've watched I've watched nearly all the Marvel movies now. I've watched nearly all the MCU, so I know that much. But don't expect any secrets or any enlightening discussion from me. That's just my opinions. I don't know who these people are. I don't necessarily know all the references, so that's my disclaimer. I'm saving watching all the Easter egg bits and all like 100 things you missed in episode 1 type videos. I'm saving them till after the series is completed, because I just want to go into the rest of it fresh. I did binge watch it the other day because I don't watch it on release date because I wasn't particularly mentally well at the time. So, but I binge watched it the other day and I really enjoyed it. So let's go through what I thought. I have my notes in my media book. So episode 1. Well, at first I thought that was the Bewitched style sitcom. I think that might have been the I Love Lucy style sitcom, because they had Bewitched style animation in episode 2. But I thought a point I really liked is Vision when he went to the he's like really socially awkward at work, and I felt he's felt very autistic at work because he was trying to fit in, and it's just everybody's like gossiping and just being like and just ribbing each other and gossiping, and Vision's just trying to explain how computers work and how to do things, and he just wants to do the job, and it's like, but everybody else is like socialising and he's like, oh no. And then it's all about a big mix-up because they've got a heart on the calendar and they don't know what it's for, and Wanda thinks it's because it's their anniversary, and Vision finds out it's because his boss and his wife is coming round for dinner, and it's like, oh, it's all that farce thing, and it's really good. And then we see then this I like that advert. There's a toaster advert, and I noted that the red light is beeping. And then Agnes comes round, and it's like the sassy neighbour, and then Vision and Wanda are like, they have these stares towards the cameras like, what's happening? And it's really good. And then this is sort of also my opinion of it as a lucid dreamer, is that because Wanda can, like, obviously she's got these powers and she can like change things about, and like if something's not quite right, not or something she don't like, she rewinds it or redoes it, and that's what I do. I try not to direct people too much, but I do in my head when I'm lucid dreaming. I can rewind things and change angles and fly like Vision. So it's fun. So I really enjoyed the episode 1, and then we go to episode 2 and we're still in the sitcom, and then in Westview, I wrote Westview House 2800, and then there's a colour helicopter appears in the hedge, and everything else is black and white. It's got a 57 written on it, and Wanda's like, where's this come from? And then I really like this episode because Vision, he got chewing gum in his gears because he went to this council meeting and he thought, I've got some things to do for the council, I've got some ideas to sort out this council. And then he gets there and all the blokes are just gossiping. There's like, did you hear what I did last week? And Vision's like, oh, it's like, and they're all just gossiping, and he's actually thought they was going to have an actual meeting, and then he gets like really confused and said, have you got any gossip, Vision? And then he says he's a communist, and because he's telling the truth, but then everybody thinks, you are the one, you are, and it's like, okay. So I loved Vision in this. I really liked getting to know Vision more. It's awesome, and I love the high-waisted trousers and braces. Sexy, very nice clothes. And then Wanda's at this other, and she's trying to fit in too, and she's with these group of women, and they're all trying to organise this variety show, and the money's for the children, but that's all they say, for the children. So I wrote that down. And then she's talking to this like really, and there's Geraldine, she turns up, and so far as we know it's Geraldine. And then Wanda's talking to Dottie, I think she's called. She's like really mean, and then the radio starts talking, and it starts saying, Wanda, are you alright? And I had the radio in my lucid dreams, and it wasn't very nice, but yeah, I've experienced a radio talking to me in my dreams. So that is very accurate for lucid dreamers. That's very good. And then in the universe, there's an advert for a Strucker watch, and it's got Hydra logo on it. It's like, no. The Vision, because he was at the council meeting, he was trying to fit in, but he can't eat food, right? So they were all going to have a snack, so he just had a chewing gum. It's like, it's just chewing, and they pat him on the back, and he accidentally swallows his chewing gum, and you see a cartoon of all the chewing gum in his gears. I love that. That just made me so happy. I really, really enjoyed that. I thought it was really fun. And then they do the magic trick, but because he's got chewing gum in his gears, he's all over the place, and he keeps like accidentally showing his real powers. So Vision's flying, then Wanda has to magic up a rope, so it's like, he's not really flying, and he lifts a piano, and Wanda has to make it look like a piece of flat board, so, and then the magic Geraldine to come out of the magic cupboard, and it was really fun. I loved that a lot. But then Wanda Wanda's suddenly just pregnant for like no reason. It's like, and then there's these thuds, and then a beekeeper with bees flying around him comes up the drain, and Wanda says no, and she rewinds the tape so the beekeeper goes away, and that's something, that's a skill I have taught myself in my dreams as well. So that was fun. It's like, yeah, that's how it works. It's just say no, and that's not going to happen. And then suddenly Vision's head's, he's in colour, and then everything starts turning to colour, and then the radio starts trying to call Wanda again. Then episode 3, I wasn't sure which sitcom it was parodying. I thought maybe the Brady Bunch, but I don't think so. But it was set in the 70s, and that's my favourite. I love the 70s architecture. I love that interior. I love when they have like actual outdoor wall with loads of outdoor plants inside the house, and them stairs that come down. Like I love that stuff. I absolutely love it, and all the coloured glass. I love that set. And then Vision's outside, and then Herb's like, he just starts cutting the wall, and it's just really weird. And Vision's like that freaked out by this, and they've got a massive giraffe teddy, and then there's all these butterflies. And then Agnes comes in. No, hang on, sorry, getting ahead of myself. They're discussing what names to give the babies. They'd have Billy or Tommy, but Vision's starting to like suspect something's weird. But then Wanda's like, we have a retake and everybody's happy again. Then Vision, he starts panicking and he flies. And then there's an advert for Hydra soap bath powder. Ooh. And then it starts raining in their house, and the babies are coming, but Geraldine's popped round, and then there's this stork, and he keeps trying to interfere because he has to deliver the baby, but Wanda keeps firing powder at it so Geraldine don't notice. And then she has her babies, it's like she has Tommy and Billy, and Vision's really cute. And then he hears Agnes gossiping with Herb about Geraldine's like, where's she come from? And then Vision's really suspicious. Then Geraldine mentions Wanda's brother Pietro, how he was killed by Ultron, and then Wanda notices the symbol that Geraldine's wearing, and she says, what? And she starts like getting angry and suspicious, and then we see that Geraldine's been pushed out of the world into this army camp, and we hear Daydream Believer, and the screen goes wide, it goes to widescreen. Then episode 4, and it's Monica Rambeau, and this is when everybody who was dusted starts coming back and together, and then she finds out what happened to her mum because Monica was dusted, and then in the meantime her mum sadly died, so that happened, and she's also got a bit of a unsteady like relationship now with Carol. So I don't know what, that was a bit of a shame. So she goes to Sword headquarters, and she's got some really nice boots on, and she gets sent to investigate this missing persons, and they look at Westview, and cops from Eastview are saying Westview doesn't exist, even though they're standing right in front of the Westview sign. They're saying, no, it doesn't exist. So they tried flying a drone copter through, and then she like pushes against the barrier, and then she gets sucked into the world, and that's when she becomes Geraldine. And then we see Darcy, so that was really fun. So Darcy, our audience identification figure, she figures out that there's some sort of cosmic microwave background radiation, and she asks for these TV sets from specific eras, because apparently only those will play this weird TV shows. So they start discovering like that people from Sword have been sucked into this sort of TV show universe, and they find out who they really are, and then they find Monica Rambeau as Geraldine. So it was Darcy's idea to set up the radio to try and talk to Wanda, but then the advert with the Hydra watch comes on, but she's not looking at the screen. Like, come on. So Darcy and Jimmy Whale are watching the show, and then we see Wanda confronting Monica and pushing her out of the town, and then she's like, it's all Wanda, and so they all think it's Wanda's doing all this. Then with episode 5 we got to the 80s, and I think it may be Roseanne reference or Full House reference. And it was cute vision, you put the dummies in his ears. Oh, that was cute. Then Agnes comes around and says, shall I do that again? So she's like doing retakes, which is odd. And then the twins, the babies, they're actually now kids. And there's I spotted a really cool picture on the wall of the family. I thought I could adapt that to some fan art, so that was good. And then Wanda, we found in a sword meeting that Wanda invaded Sword 9 days ago and resurrected Vision. And then Tommy and Billy, they've actually found a puppy, and they're trying to keep the puppy. And then Vision starts getting suspicious. So the boys, they grow to age up to 10-year-olds so they can keep the puppy, so Wanda can see him as responsible for a puppy. And they're back at Sword, they're figuring out that maybe a fallout shelter on wheels, they need something like that to enter Westview. And Captain Marvel is a bit of a sore subject with Monica, and the theory is Wanda's rewriting reality to cope with her grief about Vision. Then Vision's at work with Norm, and then in fact they get an email through from Darcy to Vision, and then it's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Norm says, "Cowabunga, dude, yeah." And then so Vision can do this thing where he scans the brain, and then for a minute or so the people actually become the actual Sword real selves, and they're like, "What's going on? Help us, help us." And then he saps them back again, so they're just pretending again. And then Wanda's son mentions Pietro, and then a drone, Sword have flown a drone in, and they try to shoot a missile at Wanda, which isn't what Monica wanted them to do at all. And Wanda comes marching to the barrier and throws the drone back at him and tells him to stay away. Then there's an advert for Lagos paper towels, and the boys want they want the puppy back. Then Wanda is with Vision. They start having an argument, and she says, "Right, roll credits." So she's like, roll credits to try and stop them having that argument, but Vision won't stand for that. And then there's a doorbell, and it's like, "What's happening?" And then Pietro arrives, but it's a completely different actor, and Darcy says, "She recast Pietro?" Because Darcy's totally invested with this now. And then it says, points to Vision, "Who's the popsicle?" And then episode 6 is 90s style sitcom, and it was Malcolm in the Middle kind, or Clarissa explains it all, because it was the kids talking to the camera. Then Wanda's in her comic book outfit, Vision is in his comic book outfit, and Pietro is playing Halloween with the boys. And then this bad guy, Tyler Haywood from Sword, he starts having his own plan. So Jimmy Woo, Rambo and Darcy split off and have their own plan, and there's a Halloween party on the street. And Wanda, she doesn't know why Pietro looks different, why he's got a different face. And then Vision sees these other people at her house, and they're stuck on repeat, just doing this like minute action again and again. And then there's this animation clay advert, and it's for like this yogurt drink, Yo Magic, but the boy can't, the clay boy, he can't get the lid off the yogurt, so he turns into a skeleton. It's like, oh, it's creepy. And then it turns out that one of the boys has inherited super speed, Tommy has inherited super speed and Billy has inherited telepathy, telekinesis. And apparently there's a rule, don't go past Alice Avenue, because that's where the barrier is, where the edge of town. Then Darcy starts hacking the Sword Hayward's computer to see what he's been up to, and turns out it's tracking Vision. Vision is walking to the edge of town, and people on the edge of town just barely moving. So he's in his swapped to his usual outfit, and he flies into the sky for an overhead view, and I do that in my lucid dreams. That's really fun to do. It's like I kind of fly like Vision too. It's like, ooh. And then as I'm on my way up, I make myself invisible. It's like, I'm invisible now. None of those people can see me. So that's what I decided. And then Vision lands back down in front of her car, and it's Agnes, and she's at the end of the road, and she's stuck, and she's got lost, and she says, and then he saps her brain and says, "You're one of the Avengers." And he says, "What's an Avenger?" Because Vision's forgotten what an Avenger is. He saps her back again, so she's pretending again. She drives back around, back into town, and Vision's walking to the edge, and Vision's just determined he's going to get to the edge of this town. And Pietro and Wanda discussing like how what she's created, and she just says she doesn't know how it's happened either. And then Vision's walking out the barrier, but it's actually pulling him back in. And that's kind of what I do in my lucid dreams. I push through windows and glass and roofs a lot. So I thought that looked cool. Then Wanda pauses the town, and she starts moving the barriers and the barrier of the town, and so it engulfs the base, and part of the base turns into a circus, and Darcy gets swallowed up into the town as part of the circus. Then episode 7, which is where we're up to till Friday, is Breaking the Fourth Wall, and it's a different sitcom. There's like loads of different sitcom style titles. Now I didn't catch the reference to all of them. Apparently one of them is Modern Family, but I've never seen that, so I'm not. It's not really a big thing with me. So, but I noticed they're all different sitcoms. I thought that was really cool. Then everything's going like, oh, what's happening? All the interiors and the time periods all flickering and glitching, and the boys have got like Xbox controllers, but then they've got like Nintendo, but then it's just Uno cards. I thought that was really cool. And then the sword people with Monica, they've got to a temporary retreat place, and they've realised that the broadcast isn't actually broadcasting anymore. So Vision, he wakes up, there's like this new circus, and Darcy's the escape artist because she doesn't remember what's been happening, so he saps her brain and makes her remember. Then we're back with Wanda, and this is like a mockumentary style talking to camera sitcom, and she's like, I'm fine, and she's not fine at all. And then they find out that Hayward was trying to bring Vision back online so he could use him as a weapon. So James and Monica are outside what Darcy calls the Hex, and they've got their own base, and they've got had this special tank made for getting into the Hex. So meanwhile, Vision is with Darcy and they escape in the food truck, and it's really funny conversations between them and really funny looks to camera, which I love. Amazing. Then interior design keeps glitching in Wanda's house, and then the interviewer who is interviewing her talks, and that's not really meant to happen in a mockumentary style show. And then there's an advert for Nexus antidepressant. Then the boys, they got they're in Agnes's house and they're cuddling the rabbit. And then we're with Monica, and she's got all a spacesuit on. She's going in a rover in a spacesuit, and the rover can't get through. So Monica has to get out of the rover, and then she's like, I'm gonna get through, and she starts pushing through, and it's awesome because it's called back to Captain Marvel, and she said, you're going to have to glow like your Auntie Carol, and her eyes start glowing, and it's amazing. I love that bit. And then we're back with Darcy and Vision in the food truck, and Darcy's like, yeah, well, this happened and this happened, and you did that, and then you did, and it's really fun that are recapping what happened in the MCU, Infinity War and Endgame and stuff. And then Vision is like, he's amazing. And then Vision's like, well, and then it's like, I go, what am I doing here, doing this stupid interview? And so he flies off to get back to his wife. Then Monica, she does this big superhero landing, which is mega cool. Then the postman, the delivery guy, has got these presto parcels. Then Vision walks away from this interview and he flies to her, and then it's really sinister at Agnes's house, and Wanda's going down into this basement, and for a bit I thought it was Doctor Strange's place because it kind of looked like that a tiny bit, and then we find out that Agnes is actually Agatha Harkness, and she's also a witch, and there's this big sort of Addams Family or Sabrina style credits for Agatha's show, and it's all Agatha. And then after the credits we see Monica looking down into this basement that Wanda's gone down into, and Pietro appears behind her, and then so it's a really awesome show. I think this is probably going. I do kind of wish they'd spent longer doing the sitcom bit than brought it out like a bit slower, because I really enjoyed those bits. But it's really cool. I love Monica in this, and everybody, and Darcy, and it's just really fun, and I wish there was more episodes. So I'm excited for all the MCU TV shows coming out. So I really like this one. I've ordered a WandaVision t-shirt, but I might get some of the action figures. I won't be buying the pops though, because there's too many pops and you can't actually play with them properly. But it's all really cool, and I really enjoyed getting to know Vision more, and it's been so much fun. I just really enjoyed the show, so I definitely recommend it. It's really cool. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. Yay!